They're written by the same author. He's repetitive, he's inconsistent, he's contradictory, he doesn't make any sense, and he's probably Levite because he's trying to take control of all the people of Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel and I read Bible. Why? Well, so that you don't have to. And you're glad I do because you don't want to read numbers, all right? It's already very, very dull. But I do have high hopes that there's going to be something that goes on in this book that we can go, holy crap, that's disgusting. And so we can have a lot of fun with it. What I don't, for some reason, anticipate is moments of like sheer and utter beauty and revelation. And that's me coming from a very like closed-minded place. I'll admit it. And it's only because I've been reading Bible. If I hadn't been reading Bible, I might think that that's in there. Because the advertisement is that there's like revelation in this book, and there's beauty, and there's love. I don't see it so far. So far, I don't see it. Numbers 3 might be the chapter where all of a sudden we see the love of God bestowed upon all people. It could also be a list of names, but it could be something special. So let's see what happens. We're here in Numbers chapter 3. Now, this is the history. Sorry. History doesn't sound interesting. All right, let's try again. Now, this is the history of the generations of Aaron and Moses in the day that Yahweh spoke with Moses in Mount Sinai. So are we moving back in time? We were out in Sinai. We were in the wilderness. We had moved away from the mountain. We were doing other things. But now we're back to like give a throwback to the mount. This is what's annoying. And I think I remember this when I read this as a kid. They never move forward. It always feels like they're just like staying. This is kind of like that scene in Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail where the knight is running towards the castle and it's like, and then it has the guys at the door and they're looking. And then it starts back to the knight and he's still far. And then it's back to the knights. They're looking at him. And then he's back to where he started. It's like that. We're back at Mount Sinai. We just keep on reverting. These are the names of the sons of Aaron. Nadab the firstborn, we know, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Nadab and Abihu are dead. Eleazar and Ithamar, they had just fallen from grace a little bit. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the priests who were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in the priest's office. Nadab and Abihu died before Yahweh when they offered strange fire before Yahweh in the wilderness of Sinai. Oh, that happened in the wilderness. Interesting. So maybe the whole book of Leviticus happened in the wilderness? That would make sense. Maybe they weren't still on the mountain. Maybe it's just like God is always constantly talking to Moses. They're not necessarily at the base of Mount Sinai. Yeah, it doesn't massively, change what's going on there. It's just that there's been more time between Exodus chapter 21, where God seems to say you can keep Hebrew slaves, and Leviticus chapter 25, where he says, don't enslave your own Hebrews. So maybe when they were at the base of Mount Sinai, that was fine, and then they started wandering, and after a year of wandering, God changed his mind. Maybe that's what was going on there. Nadab and Abihu died before Yahweh when they offered strange fire before Yahweh in the wilderness of Sinai, and they had no children. Eleazar and Ithamar ministered in the priest's office in the presence of Aaron their father. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Bring the tribe of Levi near, and set them before Aaron the priest, that they may minister to him. They shall keep his requirements and the requirements of the whole congregation before the tent of meeting, to do the service of the tabernacle. They shall keep all the furnishings of the tent of meeting and the obligations of the children of Israel. To do the service of the tabernacle, you shall give the Levites to Aaron and to his sons. They are wholly given to him on the behalf of the children of Israel. You shall appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall keep their priesthood, but the stranger who comes near shall be put to death. Aaron is a Levite. All of his Levites are his guys to keep things together. That's what's happening. And I guess he has 2 kids that they're going to help him, but all the other Levites are all doing this stuff. It's not just Aaron and his sons. I guess they're the priesthood, and then all the other Levites are doing the chores, right? They're setting up the tabernacle, bringing down the tabernacle. They're doing all that work. But Aaron and his sons are the actual priests. And then anyone else that doesn't belong in that particular club, if they show up, what's happening here? As they're putting up the carnival tent, they get put to death. Yahweh spoke to Moses saying, "Behold, I have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel instead of all the firstborn who open the womb among the children of Israel. And the Levites shall be mine, for all the firstborn are mine. On the day that I struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I made holy to me all the firstborn in Israel. Both man and animal, they shall be mine. I am Yahweh." So Yahweh is reiterating that he gets all the kids. And by the way, I am really enjoying that Yahweh doesn't just have this deep voice where he speaks in one sort of timbre like that, but he actually changes timbre as he speaks. He's like, "I am going to do this." He's like a mix between some classic actor like Ian McKellen and David Bowie. And that's because he's very inconsistent. That's what I'm representing with that voice, because I'm an artist. I'm representing how inconsistent Yahweh is, and he does this vocally, it turns out, when he's saying certain things. It's not just the words he's saying, it's also the way in which he says it. So he's taken the Levites from among the children of Israel instead of all the firstborn who open the womb among the children of Israel. But he's not killing them, which he does kill all the firstborns of the animals. And it also seems as though he may have been killing firstborns of anyone that opens the womb, as we read in the end of Exodus chapter 22. And then you read some of that reiterated in Ezekiel, but I don't want to jump ahead. It seems as though he's keeping these Levites for his own people that are going to do his chores. That's what it seems like. But hey, who knows? Maybe he's killing the Levite firstborns instead of killing the firstborns of all the people. I don't know yet. Okay. Yahweh spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai saying, okay, we're back to the wilderness. Yahweh spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai saying, "Count the children of Levi by their father's house. By their families you shall count every male from a month old and upward." Okay. This is a biblical contradiction, guys. This is got to be a contradiction. The first 2 chapters are like, we're not counting the Levites. We're not counting them. We're counting everyone else. We will not be counting the Levites. That's crazy. Nobody does that. Do not count them. Anyway, can you count them? Let's count every one of them. Not just from 20 up, from a month old and upward. Moses counted them according to Yahweh's word, as he was commanded. These were the sons of Levi by their names: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari, like Ferrari, but with an M. These are the names of the sons of Gershon by their families: Libni and Shimei. The sons of Kohath by their families: Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uziel. The sons of Merari by their families: Mali and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites according to their fathers' houses. Of Gershon, the family of the Libnites and the family of the Shimeites. These are the families of the Gershonites. They're made up names. They're just stupid made up names. These are joke names. This is a joke story that they're just like, let's keep it interesting. The Gershonites, that's funny sounding. Those who were counted of them according to the number of all the males from a month old and upward, even those who were counted of them were 7,500. That's a small group. The families of the Gershonites shall encamp behind the tabernacle westward. Eliasaph, the son of Lael, shall be the prince of the father's house of the Gershonites. The duty of the sons of Gershon in the tent of meeting shall be the tabernacle, the tent, its covering, and the screen for the door of the tent of meeting, the hangings of the court, and the screen for the door of the court, which is by the tabernacle and around the altar and its cords, for all its service. Of Kohath was the family of Amramites, the family of the Izharites, the family of the Hebronites, the family of the Uzzielites. These are the families of the Kohathites, according to the number of all the males from a month old and upward, were 8,600, keeping the requirements of the sanctuary. Just to kind of take a second here to say like what's going on. These are just all the people who are the staff of the tabernacle, essentially. We have Aaron, who's the priest, and his kids that are the priesthood and everyone after him. They're like his generations. But then the tribe of Levi, who Aaron is a part of, all of those Levites are the staff that are in charge of certain aspects, which we already know how this tabernacle is put together because we read that twice in Exodus, just like smashing our head against the wall. This is something that God seems to need thousands of people. All right, this is thousands of people who are the staff that are taking care of this, which seems like too many people, but okay. This is for a thing that is entirely just unnecessary. It's a thing that just God wants at his whim for people to do. He's just like, there's thousands of people who need to put in a lot of effort in order for me to have this nice thing that I like. Just, I am Yahweh, do what I say. So that's what's going on here. Even though he allegedly is all powerful, these people probably could spend their time and energy on something more practical and helpful for their people other than this superstition. The families of the sons of Kohath shall encamp on the south side of the tabernacle. The prince of the father's house of the families of the Kohathites shall be Elizaphan, the son of Uzziel. Their duty shall be the ark, the table, the lampstand, the altars, the vessels of the sanctuary with which they minister, the screen, and all its service. Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, shall be prince of the princes of the Levites, with the oversight of those who keep the requirements of the sanctuary. So Eleazar is kind of the general manager of these particular people who have to take care of all of these things. And again, this is a group of people who is like 8,000 plus strong, right? Like that's a lot of people who are taking care of the ark, the table, the lamp, the altars. I feel like there's maybe too many people. I don't think they need that much staff. This is the type of thing that like there's too many road workers that are just like standing watching one guy dig a hole, right? There's just like government employees that just have nothing to do. They're just watching the other guy and they are hired and paid by your tax dollars. That's what's happening here. There's 8,000 people who are doing the job of like probably 5 people. And they are doing this, getting paid or fed by you, the ancient Hebrew who's bringing in food and paying like tithes and other things and paying so that people can be redeemed and not killed, etc. Just so that these people, these thousands of people, can be fed and take houses if they want. This is a scam, guys. This is a Levite scam, and it's fantastic. But Judaism is a cult of one tribe who came up with this idea of God and screwed over all the other Hebrews Of Merari was the family of the Malites and the family of the Mushites. These are the families of Merari. Those who were counted of them according to the number of all the males from a month old and upward were 6,200. The prince of the father's house of the family of Merari was Zuriel, the son of Abihail. They shall encamp on the north side of the tabernacle. The appointed duty of the sons of Merari shall be the tabernacle's boards, its bars, its pillars, its sockets, all the instruments, all its service, the pillars of the court around it, their sockets, their pins, and their cords. Those who encamp before the tabernacle eastward in the front of the tent of meeting toward the sunrise shall be Moses with Aaron and his sons, keeping the requirements of the sanctuary for the duty of the children of Israel. The outsider who comes near shall be put to death. It's like nobody wants them to know that they don't do anything. They're sitting around, they're just hanging out. They're probably drinking. They're probably playing video games and just having a great time. They're like, if you come over here, we'll kill you. We'll kill you. We're just doing God stuff. God has new laws. God has new laws. They're just making up new laws for God, and they're all joke laws. They're like, tell them they can't mix fabrics. It's all such a silly scam. All who were counted of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron counted at the commandment of Yahweh by their families, all the males from a month old and upward were 22,000. Imagine being the smallest tribe, the least amount of people, but being so cunning that you are the bosses of the whole entire group of people, of the whole nation. You guys end up being the bosses. I think that that's still what goes on. We have an elite. We have the big cheese. We have the government. It's the least amount of people with the most amount of power. And everyone else is like, well, they know best. Yahweh said to Moses, count all the firstborn males of the children of Israel from a month old and upward, and take the number of their names. You shall take the Levites for me, I am Yahweh, instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the livestock of the Levites, instead of all the firstborn among the livestock of the children of Israel. I zoned out. Yeah, I don't know what it means to take the Levites instead of all the firstborn and the livestock. I guess they have to do. I think it's making it sound like this is a sacrifice of the Levites, Like I think earlier they're like, okay, we're killing all the firstborns. We're killing all the firstborn animals and all the livestock and stuff. Or this group of people will have to serve you and they'll take the sacrifice. But don't look what we do. But we definitely do a lot of stuff for Yahweh. We're definitely working really hard. And don't come over here and watch us. But we're definitely doing things that are important. And they're like, well, we'd rather not die. So whatever you Levites think, if that's cool with God. Moses counted as Yahweh commanded him all the firstborn among the children of Israel, all the firstborn males according to the number of names from a month old and upward, of those who were counted of them were 22,273. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, take the Levites instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the livestock of the Levites instead of their livestock, and the Levites shall be mine. I am Yahweh. For the redemption of the 273 of the firstborn of the children of Israel who exceed the number of the Levites, you shall take 5 shekels apiece for each one, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. You shall take them. The shekel is 20 gerahs. Good to know. And you shall give the money with which their remainder is redeemed to Aaron and his sons. I still don't know what the taking is, but I don't think it's putting them to death. I don't think they're going to put to death a bunch of these Levites and then take 5 shekels just so they don't have to put to death a bunch of other males. Like, I don't think that that's what's happening here. I think it's what I guessed earlier. And then there's this extra sort of like, hey, this is a quick little money grab as well. Because all of this is silly and made up. So it seems like it's just like another clever little scam. Moses took the redemption money from those who exceeded the number of those who were redeemed by the Levites from the firstborn of the children of Israel. He took the money 1,365 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. And Moses gave the redemption money to Aaron and to his sons, according to Yahweh's word, as Yahweh commanded Moses. We've been seeing this all throughout Leviticus, that the Levites are running a pretty harsh scam. And in this case, it seems as though they keep on making it seem like they're losing. They're like, oh my goodness, we're just doing what Yahweh wants, and we're going to save you guys from sacrificing yourselves to Yahweh. Instead, we're going to not sacrifice ourselves, but at the very least have to live for the guy and set up his tabernacle and tear it down. And there's only thousands of us. I don't know how you expect 7 or 8, 20 some odd thousand of us to do all of that work with that, not super huge tabernacle. But like, I don't know if you guys have ever had a carnival come to town. This is me now, not the Levites anymore. But I don't know if you've ever had a carnival come to town. And they set up a tent and they set up a bunch of rides, and they do that in a couple days or a day. And they're not thousands of them. There's not thousands of people who are putting that together. It's a very small group. It's substantial, but it's certainly not more than a whole carnival. We don't need 20,000 people employed by the people of Israel to do that. That's a scam. I know a scam when I see one. Interesting. Finally, we get more of an interesting chapter, a direct biblical contradiction where, in the first 2 chapters, it says, oh, we're not going to count the Levites. And then all of a sudden we're counting the Levites. This is typical Bible stuff. So it's nice to know that it hasn't changed. I think all these books were written by Moses, maybe. They're written by the same author. He's repetitive. He's inconsistent. He's contradictory. He doesn't make any sense, and he's probably Levite because he's trying to take control of all the people of Israel. Anyway, we'll see you next time for more of this crazy, crazy book. Please subscribe, like the video, and leave me a comment, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.